Let's be real. A lot of women say they want a king, but all they bring to the table are demands, attitude, and queen energy. They want loyalty, protection, provision. Cool. But ask what they offer? Crickets. Or worse yet, they'll say, I am the table. Newsflash, self-love is not a replacement for being a good partner. And being difficult, not a personality trait. It's not feminine energy, it's entitlements wrapped up in affirmations and filters. And if it's all take and no give, just don't be shocked when the men stop showing up.
An uncomfortable truth is all women are not ready to be led. I don't care how much you love her. I don't care how fine she is, how thick she is, how long y'all been together, how much you care about her, how much you want to lead her. If she not ready to be led, you ain't gonna lead. If you offer guidance to her and she thinks it's control, she not ready to be led. If she rejects your feedback, even though it's constructive criticism, she's not ready to be led. If she thinks compromising for something is losing, she's not ready to be led. If she ignores direction, guess what? She's not ready to be led. If she's not willing to change or evolve.
I'm gonna go out there and blame the woman empowerment podcast for all these women being so delusional about dating and expectations. They go out there and say we need a man who doesn't make less than 7 figures, we need a man who makes yearly 400,000 minimum plus. And it's so funny that the first thing that they are mentioning is just money, materialistic things. Like, that is all. That is what a man is for. That's what you're looking for. And if that doesn't apply, those numbers do not apply, you are not gonna look forward. Like, that is it. All right, so first that and then everything else, which is so sad. But you know what it is? It's because they think like at least if he has money, he doesn't have to have all of these things. It can compensate. The money can compensate for the lack of this and that, which usually is him treating her with loyalty, respect, not cheating on her, looking older, way below her league and stuff like that. The only man she would accept like that is a man that makes a lot of money.
Give us your perfect first date.
First of all, my man needs to make at least 7 figures.
How much money should your guy make?
Over $500,000.
Where are the real men at? I'm sick of it.
That's why I don't like men who like know their worth. Like, I hate y'all.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women. That it's better to be single, guys.
There's talk about how men are not obsessed with women anymore.
Of course they're not obsessed with women anymore. They try to go on dates. They try to be actually respectful, open up, ask them about actually important questions. And all they're getting is, how much do you make? Oh, how much did you pay for this? Oh, that's not bad. When they say that's not bad and it's like 200 for a meal, oh, that's fine. That's not bad. But he's the one paying. It's not bad because he's the one paying, not you.
Said that you effed a whole platoon.
Oh, yeah.
How many dudes did you sleep with?
Probably at that time, like 20.
The whole platoon.
Yeah, it was a lot.
At once.
When I was 16, I got 3 trains ran on me in 1 week.
Good to know. Very informative. Everybody needed to hear that. Wife material.
You ever just sit there after watching something like that and feel this weird mix of disbelief and deja vu? Like, how did we get here? I mean, listen to what they're saying. He needs to make 7 figures. He needs to have money, status, lifestyle. Not he needs to be kind. Not he needs to be loyal. Not he needs to make me feel safe. No, just money. And then in the same breath, where are all the good men? You can't make this up. It's wild because the tone isn't even angry anymore. It's empty. Like everyone's just tired of pretending this makes sense. And maybe that's the real story. Not that men are angry, but that they finally stop being emotionally invested in the game. Because let's be real, for a long time, men were still trying. They still believed in that movie version of love. The idea that if you worked hard, treated her right, showed effort, she'd see it. But what happens when you realize effort isn't even noticed anymore? Only your earnings are. You stop showing up. Not because you hate women, but because you're tired of performing for people who don't even like the show. This is what no one wants to say out loud. Men didn't change first. They reacted. They adjusted. They looked around and saw that dating wasn't about connection anymore. It was a negotiation, a transaction. And they decided, you know what? I'm out. And honestly, can you blame them? When a man has to bring 6 figures, emotional stability, height, confidence, humor, a plan, and a moral code to even be considered, but she can show up with an attitude and a podcast full of contradictions, something's off. is not equality. It's entitlement disguised as empowerment. And the irony, the very women who scream, "I don't need a man," are the same ones making hour-long videos crying about how men won't approach them anymore. You wanted independence? Men respected that. You wanted freedom? They stepped back. You wanted power? They stopped competing. Now it's quiet. And that silence is deafening. Because for the first time in modern history, men aren't chasing, not arguing, not defending, just done. The dating market flipped, and suddenly the women who once had unlimited options are realizing options aren't the same as opportunity. Likes aren't love. Attention isn't affection. And when the men you mocked, ignored, or belittled finally move on, they don't come back. They don't beg. They rebuild. That's what's happening right now, quietly, across the world. Men are realizing that peace is more valuable than attention, that self-respect is worth more than access. And you can see it in their eyes. They're not bitter, they're free. The system ran on male validation, on men chasing, on effort being one-sided. So when men pulled the plug, the whole thing started to flicker. Now women are panicking. Not because men disappeared, but because the game stopped working. The manipulation stopped landing. The "where have all the good men gone" question isn't a cry for love, it's a realization of loss. Men didn't leave out of hate. They left out of clarity. They realized something the world never wanted them to notice. You can give your all, do everything right, and still not be seen as enough simply because you don't fit someone's fantasy of success. And that's the part that hurts. Not the rejection, not the loneliness, but the realization that love is no longer about who you are, it's about what you can provide. And once a man accepts that, he stops playing. You can call it cold, you can call it bitter, but to him, it feels like peace. Because for years, men were told to man up, try harder, prove yourself. But now, the new movement is simple. Don't chase what disrespects you. Men are learning boundaries. They're learning solitude. They're learning that being alone doesn't mean being lonely, it means being unbothered. Meanwhile, the women who built their whole identity around being pursued are realizing there's no one to pursue them anymore. You wanted equality? Congratulations, you got it. Now both sides are tired, detached, and silently staring at each other through screens, wondering why everything feels so hollow. But maybe this had to happen. Maybe men had to pull away for everyone to see how broken things have become. Because when good men stop showing up, society feels it. The warmth disappears. The stability vanishes. The balance collapses. And when women finally ask, where did the men go? The answer won't come from podcasts or comment sections. It'll come from reflection. Men went where they're respected. They went where peace exists. They went where love still means something. You can't build connection on competition. You can't build respect on resentment. You can't build relationships on social media quotes and delusional standards. So yeah, men aren't dating like they used to. They're not approaching, not chasing, not auditioning. Because they finally realized you don't lose anything by walking away from people who don't see your worth. And that's the real empowerment. Not screaming about it on a podcast, not listing requirements that sound like a business loan, but standing up and saying, I'd rather be alone than be disrespected. That's what men have learned. That's the quiet revolution no one's talking about. So when you see those videos, the ones asking why don't men care anymore, just know they did care. Too much. For too long. Until they realized caring doesn't mean suffering. And that's when they finally walked away. Not out of anger, but out of wisdom.